experience is about 25 years.
For concrete, you can use it once, maybe twice, that's it. And wood, the world is not ours, I always say. We live on it, but we need to give it to the generations to come. Now, my function, or what I do for a living, work, is I'm head of pricing, they call it, or chief of something like that. About the cost of developed teams, buildings, developing budgets. So when you design something or think of something, you need to have a wallet of money to accomplish it with a developer, investor. And that's what I do at the company of Dura Vermeer. Now I need to slide. I'm going to tell you something about Dura and Vermeer. You can read in the behind, the Dura company was founded in 1855. And the Vermeer company was founded in, I was cheat a bit, 1961. That's the civil part. Oh, I'm sorry. The civil part of it, and the Dura is the building part. They merged together in 1998 to become one of the larger developing constructor and civil market engineer and builder companies of Holland. We are now in the top 10, maybe top 5, I don't know exactly. We have around 200 employees, and they are 50% in the civil market, and the other 50, you guess it, they were in the develop and building company. What can I tell more? Now, our company has set some goals for the future. That's why we stand here. It's to innovate. That's in wood. Also in bio-based building materials. Also civil engineering. The sustainability. And that is why the company is also big, and we spend time and effort to help others and to bring knowledge to each other to develop more. As a family company, which it still is, because Job Dura is still the CEO of the company. It's also in the back, I believe. Yes, it is. He's the 5th generation. And I'm a bit out of line. As a family company, is it set in our DNA to behave and have a vision and intention to make it sustainability for a good and green builder from Holland. Because, like I said before, when we use one material and we use it once again, that can be done, but then we have the world like it is now, and wood is still growing, and we can replant it, and has a lot of good things, but we forget it because in 1700 we did a lot of wood and we didn't a lot of concrete, but somewhere we skipped it. Now to make the goal of our sustainability a bit specific, we had set ourselves a goal that's in 2030 we have every solution of our company will have a positive impact on what we accomplish in building, developing, to make a better world. Sounds a bit, yeah, woolly, can I say that? But to achieve this, we work, like I said just before, circular roads, the asphalt and the tarmac. We redevelop it so we can use it and use it. We can energize it to bring up energy. We have bio-based gardens with a lot of other things in it. And we develop circular buildings with CO2 neutral admission to the world. And that starts with you, with developing, with thinking of materials, how to use and how to use not, of course. If you recognize that and take our responsibility together, we can have a positive value in the living of an environment. And that's why we need to do actions and decisions that will have an impact for the generations, our daughters, your children, yourself, your family, and other parts of the world that are a bit different in organization. Now, then our vision to timber. Now I need to do this. Like in the back, you see a few words. We call it maybe a new wooden age, because you see a lot of firms and developers are bring a high input on wood and wood building, wood engineering. It's a high topic because of more things than just it's nice, it feels warm, it's okay. Yeah, why? Now, why is because we need to do something about the CO2 reduction in the world. We need, like Koen said, knowledge people and connectors like wood captains are to bring the knowledge to another who struggles a bit. Can we do it? Must we do it? What can we do? And to expand that and to give it implementations to our goals and vision. Did we gain a partnership with a developed company? Maybe some of you know it, maybe not. It's the Hamlet Design and Build Technology. To also expand our knowledge about what can we do with wood building, of what can we not do with beams and structure walls and all sort of things. I don't know if there are any questions or if it's clear what I tell, because I guess so. Silence. Now, Koen, maybe you can tell what we already make in wood by the slides.
A small quick view of projects that we are already realizing. I have 5 projects. You see it at the screen. Holland Park, Zangvogel, Hotsludi, Alejandra Wieder. I will tell you a little bit more about the projects. It looks like Wiener XL. It is Wiener, it's not Wiener. Wiener XL. in English it sounds different. It's a utility project completely in CLT. It has a concrete base floor, but the rest is everything in CLT. We are delivering at the end of this. At the end of this year, it will be ready. I think if I have a little bit more pictures. Oh, no. This is a housing project in Nijmegen, also completely in CLT. There are no, except from the nodes, there are no steel joints or something else. I will tell you more about this project and nodes a little bit further. Then we have also Alliander in Amsterdam. Is also a CLT building, complete CLT building with ligature floors. Ligature floors are that floors, especially is design floors which are a high impact of acoustics. And then it's not everything is CLT. Mass timber is not always pretty, but we also make housing in wood, and you don't see anything about the construction. It's like Zangvogel here, over here. Everything is wood, but you won't see a thing when you are in a completed building. Last but not least is some work of us is called a blokje om. It's completely fabricated in the fabric, which you see in the picture at the left. Also in mass timber construction, prefab timber frame. So we are gathering our experience of all projects, and we are sharing this with all companies within our main company, Dura Vermeer. Last but not least, I think we're going to menti.com. Yeah, I see some people taking the telephone. First lunch reading where you may have your telephone at your hand. Is everybody in and seeing the first question? Yeah, I'm going to switch to another picture. One moment, please. Okay. This one. This one. Lunch, this one. What year are you in? John, I want to give the microphone to you because you are better in this than I am. Okay, you can start typing.
No, it's good, and the ones who are logged on, you can see the question, and you just can pop the answer. And I don't see the answer. That's weird.
I counted 52 people, so we are left.
Yeah, 64 is okay.
Who didn't?
Next. We should see some results of your answers. And that's just for us to know, yeah, the level, not our English level, but the level of knowledge. Most people are first, I think. That was the answer, because that's the biggest one to pop up. Also, what's nice to know from our view is, yeah, what do you guys do? Because we know what we do, but I know what's happening. He's not bundling the answers. I think a lot of architecture urbanism is developing, I guess. Structural designing, okay. Why? Tell us why, just why. Yeah, blank, I guessed. It's about the study, not this lecture. Okay. Does the one with Lego can explain why? That's interesting. And that's why we use this Menti, because we can interact and maybe we can learn. I guess we can learn. Whoa. Money. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now, I think the most of all the answers are okay and good. But I think we'll hit most things that are mentioned here. From our perspective of a designing builder, most things you guys call out or shout out, I don't know how you call it, are things we are struggling with the design. Because we have an architect, a constructor, an installation advisor, fire resistance or not, etc., etc. And of course, money. I skip this one. Now, what do you think of when we talk about building wood? CLT. 3, yeah. Start with it. No, the Wi-Fi is making it. Yes.
Okay. Sustainability is obvious. Expensive. Somebody typed in expensive. Can you tell me why? Who did type expensive? Nobody. Nobody. Ah, it really is. So I can't say anything about it, but a little bit. But that's why you're here. If you do it right the first time, the expensive part is less. You can tell. Yeah, it's a mindset. But you get a better building, and if you look to total cost of ownership, it's not expensive. And there are many only cozy, versatility, strong. John wants to have them.
Yeah, I see a few nice lines that you guys mentioned. A cottage, most of you guys know it, I guess. Austria, in the mountains, skiing, a nice cottage. What does it give you? Besides booze and sleep. Mostly a nice comfort, a warm feeling, because you see the wood and not the concrete and not a hollow space. You can make it, yeah, like a boomhut in Dutch. Like cozy. That's wood. Wood feels nice, warm, has some other structure, another feeling. And that's then, I think, the main part of wood, because expensive, yeah, but no. We, like in the beginning said, lost thinking in wood. So the prices of wood are on another level than concrete, because other companies earn a lot of money on concrete. But this also is just a mindset of what to think of and why to choose or not to choose. Now, what aspect of wood is your interest and appeals to you, besides the boomhut, cozy, and blah blah blah, more technical? Nee. I see some very good ones. The middle in blue, strong and light, certainly. Uh, yeah, wood, super good, very good strength. Yeah, sustainability, of course, of course. The aesthetic pleasing, yes. Reaction of force depends on, but it's a good one. They're all good, but strength, it can burn. Yeah, but not all the way. Think of Japan, they burn wood to make it more lasting in the environment. So yeah, you can burn it, but a wooden frame burn all the way. Takes a while. Steel frame, I think it break first. So burning, yes, but you can use the burning of wood. We explain that later. So the thinking of the thoughts are very good. Now, what do you hope to have learned after this lecture? Maybe we can shift on some knowledge. Yeah, what's already done? It's a hard one because we don't know everything, but a lot. I think we come to facades a bit, but we can explain if we have a lot of time. The best way to use wood, just the highlights. So the left, left. In blue, more about wood. Yes, we think about that. Then I need to scroll. How to create good wooden structures. We come to that also. Different types of wood and the features. Yes, we hit that also. Limitations. Depends on the design, but we get that also. Wood as roofing. The inner or the outer roofing? That's really the top side with the weather influence, or the side from the inside, the top roofing floor. Doesn't mind. We get it. Oh, that is he. Koen is going to shift.
Shift alt tab toch? Alt tab is alt tab. Oh, that's not my mouse. Okay, this one we already had. One for no. We made this lecture because we want to tell you something about designing wood. We're not going to tell you how you have to design facades or something, but we would bring you more knowledge about being smart. We often see that many disciplines in a housing project or in a building project are not similar. So that's what we're going to tell you. The first thing is the art of building in wood is to command the view of all the disciplines. What's very important to know is that the most influence of design and costs are in the beginning. Beginning of the curve, you have a initiative phase through exploitation or realization, and the more impact you will have is in the front, and the more costs will be at the end. If you want to change something during the last phase, it's going to cost more. So if you want to have impact, do it in the front, always. Then where do you have to think of disciplines? Different disciplines have to work together. It's not one discipline, but it's not only architecture or only construction, but there are various choices which each have their own knowledge about wood. So like this, you can see, and not only this, but you also have building regulations. Some parts are unfamiliarity with wood, different interests of disciplines. But the most important thing is total cost of ownership. If you have that in perspective, so you look at not only the initiative, but also in the realization and exploitation phase, then you have to, you're going to make an impact on the wooden building. We have some details, and John, I want to give you the microphone from this detail. on flooring.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna skip a bit back, and then I'm gonna hit the floor again. What you guys named in the Menti is also what's standing here. When you start designing, what you're doing now, oh, again, you see the curve of design and influence curve. On the most left, that's what Koen is mentioning. You got to think really premature when you go to wood, because wood is another level of designing and thinking also for the builder, what we are, and when it's built, the cost of ownership and maybe the reuse of materials, because the CO2 footprint is now a regulation in the Dutch government. When you build, you need to show the government that you don't put out CO2. For that what was mentioned, it's expensive. No, if you go to an investor and you can have a good plan to say, hey, we're going in wood and this is the cost of ownership, then maybe the expansions of the building and the building cost level. If you just put it aside, the common buildings, yes, a flat euro or 10 euros, that's the difference on that weight. But in the end, I think the 10 will make it good for the 1. That's over here. And when you shift to the blue line, if you can hold it, the plumbing of the installations and the architecture are far more exclusive, maybe in wood. You can do more in wood than in concrete without a lot of other things and steel within it. But the cost and the engineering was done backwards. First you must think, what's the function of the building? What's the function of the room of like this area? Okay, I'm going to sketch it in a 3D. Okay, in wood. How do I get those installations in a wooden floor? How do I get the water hose, besides that wet cast, in the wall? You can do it later. It's a no-go in wood. In concrete, you can just put it in the facade or in the wall. When the concrete is poured in, I'll just put an extra line in. It's okay. By wood, it's a no-go. That's really hard. So you must think of all the regulations that we have over here. Oh, they pop up. In our early stage, because in the influence, when you miss a point, and that's because wood is really a team, you must look at a good team of players who can have the knowledge, who are willing to share the knowledge. Otherwise, yeah, you're in a dead end at the end. And then you come to a simple photo shoot. At the left, it's how most people know it. And from the middle to the right is how we try with. And that's easy by one building for one owner, but by a house with options for the owner, yeah, you are limited, like a car. You choose brand A with that options or brand B with that options. You can't mix. Then you come to the nodes, which Koen mentioned. There are various solutions, and that's not, oh, we pick one, and then it's okay building. It will be by regulations. It will be on the safe side of the construction limits. No, you have to engineer them pretty well, because when they don't pass or won't fit in the building area, yeah, a chainsaw wouldn't make it. You can start all over, and you fall back weeks and weeks, maybe months in the building. To engineer those, you have to have a good constructor, a good partner in designing, who knows how to Mr. Word, rekenen aan. Count or be as evolving the wood to its maximum with the lines. The fire resistance mentioned by you guys. Here you see it. Wood, it will burn, definitely. Steel won't burn, gets a lot of heat. When steel becomes a bit too, it will be soft and like spaghetti. It collapses much earlier than wood. That are all things to consider in a pre-stage in developing. When you want to make that column in wood, think about it, because when it's too big, you get a facade problem. When it's too small, it collapses. And a stick is firm. Think of a lucifer. Put it on top, press, it will hold. Put it flat between open, press, it cracks. Simple construction. Yes?
One more. Free picture. So we have the two nodes here, and in particular, this is a beautiful node, but in case of fire, it collapses immediately because there's steel in the site. So what possibilities you have? We have a plasterboard. You can plaster it away. That's not nice. Or you can make the joint, the steel stronger, thicker. When it's thicker, the velocity increases, decreases, and so you have, like the picture, this more resolution of fire. But better is when you don't see the steel joints, nodes, like this. This way, when here is another CLT legging, you won't see this node. So it's protected by wood. It's very strange. Wood burns very quickly, but that's also this picture. When wood has burned and the caracal protects it against further burning. So that's understanding which you have to design, or you can design with, and you don't have further claddings or otherwise costs necessary. That being said.
Yes. Now, designing in wood. This is a early picture of the Dura company. We found it, so we put it in. Now, designing in wood, thinking of the perspective of wood. Like you said in Menti, it burns, it's cozy, it's warm, it's large expansions can be made, bigger than with maybe steel or concrete. That are the advantages. Now we mentioned a few here. The third one and everyone. That's better. Now wood is mostly far lighter than steel or concrete. You know all, I think, the mass of concrete and steel per cube. A bit good wood. Now a third maybe or less in weight. Now, think about that, what it does in the ground, what it does with transport, with lorries. It's bio-based. We can now accomplish on wood, and within the living space of a building 60, 70 years or more, the wood the forest, we let it grow, can regain its own materials. Now, the disadvantages is mostly the first three. You can, what Koen also said, with a designing team, you can design around it or make it okay. a big thicker wood, a big thicker steel, put a ceiling or a plasterboard against it. But the mostly is like it's fairly expensive. It's we don't know it. Can it be done? We don't have experience. The cold water, yeah, it's still wet, but try it. You can still swim in it. The informality is one of the biggest issues, and from money side, the investors invest the money 5 years back from now. Maybe wood wasn't on the agenda. Now we want wood, but the budget is too low. So if we now think in wood, we invest the budget on wood prices or buildings, then we also can build in wood. And that's the most perspective of early thinking. What do you want with the building? What do you want with the world over 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, or maybe more? Some castles are still in wood in Norway, so it lasts. And that's the main reason that it's upcoming again, but it's still hard to combine with the normal products of elements and products who are seems that they are less costly. Now we have here some perspectives of wood, but that's something Koen can explain.
Yeah. How many time do we have left? Can somebody tell me? About 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. If you have questions, just ask them. A simple example, just CLT wall has 60 minutes of fire reductions. But if we add cladding wall, we have 90 minutes of fire protection. So we can also make the CLT thicker, but it's more expensive than adding 2 plasterboards. That's John's very happy with. So we have also had a point of choose your partners with care. Partners are all disciplines like a constructor, building physics, architect. So if you go, if you want to work, if you want to make a good wooden building, please ask for their resumes. It sounds simple, but everybody says knowledge to have knowledge about wood, but it isn't true. Isn't really true. I'm going to a bit further quicker because of the time. At the end, using only wood for construction is not a must, but hybrid is also fine. It's sometimes affordable to make hybrid systems like concrete staircases for construction and only floors in wood. It's no problem. If we do it by step during the future, you are doing great. Not a problem. Like this. This is a building. Oh, this is Wiener XL. It has steel joints here, like this, but also steel roofings in the main shop. Is this, and this is in the kantoor, in the office. Yeah, this is in the office in the utility hall. So, yeah, we don't have to be scared to make hybrid buildings. It's no problem. And small example of the Seacom building in New York. What was happening if we made that in wood? Now there's José Gustav Garzon has made a topic about it. You can look for it on his website. But if we made it in wood, it would be approximately 40% lighter. 86% of CO2 carbon within the wood. It could be, and you have enough space. The BVO. I don't know, bruto vloeroppervlak. It's the no, not ground flooring. The oppervlakte. What's it called? Oppervlakte. Area. Yeah, the area stays the same, but you have a better building, and you have 30% energy saved compensation. So that energy saved compensation is also necessary to make a good total cost of ownership that makes a wooden building affordable. At last, the conclusion. If you stick to the four principles, so what we told, the art of building in wood is to command all view. I skipped that. At the left, there's a greater chance of success designing within budgets. Very important. You'll do it the first time. Of course, you'll contribute to the CO2 reduction and a better world, which is badly needed. And at least you have a happy client and a happy John. That's obvious. So that's very important. If he's not happy, there's no project. No, similar, almost. So that's the conclusion. And now I'm going to ask you if there are some questions for us. Thank you. No one a question? Oh, still? Okay, thank you.
Yes, I want to thank you for coming to give this interesting lecture. For all of you here, if you want my future point, there will be people at the top of the stairs to scan your TUE student card.